So folks, and with that, a warm welcome. You can see, it's finally summertime. Not quite yet, but we definitely have wonderful temperatures. The sun is shining, it's 15 degrees. It feels like 25 or more, but it's just delightful, and it makes driving this car even more fun. I really enjoy driving the E36, especially now that the brakes have been done and so on. Just a few little details. It's incredibly fun, and I wanted to share that in the video before we get to the actual topic. That, simply an old car, which can still be moved reliably back and forth, can bring so much joy. And that's why, and now comes the super clever transition, we are going to take care of the plastic components on the exterior today. Specifically, all the trim pieces on the sides and also around, including the rear at the back. That is also the reason why I got the vehicle, among other things, because it was important for me to be able to conduct many product tests. And a product, and now the sun is coming out again. Hey, it's exhausting, but still nice. And that's why we're testing a product today that is standing back here. It's the new one. It's still a new product, but it's not brand new anymore. It's definitely been around for a few weeks now. Here is the Sonne ceramic plastic sealant. Looks like this completely fresh bottle. Also, the cardboard band is still attached up here. Let's take that off right away. Let's take a look. Quick plastic sealing for the SB box for home use. Just something very simple. Quick, without much work with a cloth. Or I also have a small applicator with me. We'll test that out today. And now let's get started. Sonax XTREME ceramic plastic sealant with SI carbon technology. We also know this from the detailer. We know this from the wet sealant. We know this from the ceramic spray sealant, and also from the shampoo and the tire care product. So there are a lot of things in this line, and this is just part of it. Let's quickly take a look at the back. A brief note on that. Provides protection against environmental influences and weathering for up to 3 months. It protects all plastic parts in the exterior, such as bumpers, trim strips, mirror caps, and everything else we typically have on hand. Fits the BMW very, very well. High-quality active ingredients care for the plastic and prevent premature fading and aging. The treated surface retains a streak-free, satin matte look. We will take a closer look at that shortly. It impresses with wash resistance and an easy application and drying time. It is also clearly stated here that for heavily weathered plastics, meaning those that are significantly faded, applications may need to be repeated in order to achieve a somewhat stronger effect. And not for bicycle or motorcycle seats because there is a risk of slipping. Of course, so be careful not to apply it there. Do not use it on control elements, steering wheel, pedals, and gear shift in the interior. But that means you can definitely use it, for example, on the inner sides of doors, in my opinion. And we will also test this again in one of the next videos when we are back in my workshop. So, in terms of application, super easy. Before we use it, definitely shake it well so that the ingredients can distribute properly. This generally applies to all products when you use anything on the vehicle. Shake it well again because sometimes, due to the formulation, it can happen with all products that some components may separate or settle. You want the full product performance, so shake it well again. These side panels remind me a bit of something. It's not a real hard plastic. This is a kind of material that feels like hard rubber, but of course we can also use it here. And here we won't make any separation for now. I just want to apply it together in a completely normal way, just like you can do at the self-service box. I would take the cloth, just fold it a bit so that you can apply the product evenly and not use a huge cloth to smear it around because you don't want to get anything unnecessary on the paint. If anything gets on it, just wipe it off. No problem at all. I would simply fold the cloth a bit narrower, shake it, then open the product here and briefly fill the spray nozzle. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of this here. Just 2 sprays are really enough. I mix it a bit together, and with that, we actually have a nice amount here to distribute evenly on the surface. I think visually, since we don't have a hard separation, there won't be such a huge difference, at least as far as the camera shows you. But we will also take a look at the other components shortly. Here, I just wanted to see how the application works. I would clearly recommend folding the cloth into a small applicator, as it makes it much easier and better to distribute. But it can be done nicely. The feeling is that when you spread it out nicely, you hardly need to polish it again with a cloth. But if you want to be sure for once, just take the back side, fold the cloth once around, and clean everything here again. And then it will definitely work out. The surface is ideal, and that is exactly what such products are, suitable for, or for example, you also know these all-wheel drive models from Audi, the Allroad, variants, or even with the Tiguan, VW and all sorts of things, there are sometimes these decorative strips around the wheel arches on the outside as a decorative element. And there is also an unpainted plastic there that you can use very, very well. I will show you another option that I came up with because I believe it will work very, very well. We also apply tire care with a foam applicator, so what's stopping us from using it for plastic care as well? Just spray a little bit on here. Really just a little bit of product. You can also press it together like this, and then simply apply it. And why shouldn't that work? I think if you don't have huge areas, you can also easily reach these edges up here. So, what is stopping us from using such an applicator and distributing it nicely? And evenly here on the surface, also nicely along the edge. And when I take this off now, look, if you spread it nicely with the applicator, I shouldn't really have to polish anything afterwards. But you can also clearly see, look, that there are slight droplets left behind when the surface is simply saturated. Well, at some point it has to stop. The plastic can't absorb it in large quantities. Instead, it should be distributed nicely. Now I would just take the cloth and apply it again. Just wipe it down quickly and remove anything that gets on the paint. Perfect. It doesn't smear either, which is very important to me with such a product. If you get it on the paint, like here, you can simply wipe it off without any smudge marks or needing to polish it off in any way. It really works well. And up here, I still have a little drop. So, now let's take the tape off. A little bit has run under the tape, but you can clearly see the difference. Maybe I'll make a new adhesive edge again. It's just that this is a type of plastic that, how should I put it, has a very strong structure, and it kind of climbs or crawls a bit under the tape. However, you can still see it well. I'll take a look here with you. Yes, definitely, it's quite clear. And we can walk around the vehicle a bit, so you can see the difference. So, I think in terms of the effect, let's take a step back. So, take a look. So you can see it well, and it is definitely a nice refreshment. And we can also see exactly where I haven't used the product here yet. Look, I just stopped here, and around the back, you can see it very nicely as well. So, it really has a silky effect. It's not some kind of greasy shine. So it just looks fresh and natural to me. And now in the comparison, you can see it very, very clearly. That we have a noticeable refreshment here. And also in terms of effect, it doesn't shine more than the untreated side. And it doesn't have a greasy, oily shine. So, regarding the optical properties, it's absolutely clear. Let's take a step back, because it's like this. When you walk past the vehicle, what do you think? Feel free to write it down below. What do you think of the look? I find it very, very stylish. And what should we do best? Should we seal the other side as well and leave an unsealed spot in the middle? Or that would be the best for such a long-term test. And if you need a little more, just give yourself a tiny dab of it here. Look, you will absolutely get the impression that this product will truly last you forever, because the areas you treat are not that large. Vehicles are not usually made of unpainted plastic in the exterior area. At least I believe most are not. That's why it is now also a product that you can use for a super long time in terms of consumption. I prefer to apply it here with an applicator. It works so easily for me. And then you simply go over it again with a cloth side without applying much pressure. This does not change the look again. Instead, the excess product is simply absorbed a bit, which we do not need. Then we wipe it off again. And then we have a nice difference. So, we will leave it like this for now, so that we have enough area for any tests, and we have this again as a part that we haven't addressed yet. It really looks a bit strange like this, but I'm happy to do this for you for the videos. And so we can also make a nice comparison. Here in the sun, the plastic is already quite warm. We can also test that right away. How the product behaves there. Whether it causes any difficulties. Because you can't always guarantee that such a vehicle is completely in the shade. You know it yourself. The B-box here in front gets quite warm. Everything from the surface. And here, I want to process this together with you once again. But this time, we just take it normally with the cloth, folding ourselves a bit smaller again. You can also spray it on a bit here. But I usually have too much product by then, so you can really spray it on very easily. You don't need to spray it on wildly here. Instead, just distribute it simply with the cloth. Nice to get close to the tape. In terms of scent, it has a light smell. Let me think for a moment. What does it smell like a bit? It has a slightly sweet, soapy quality. Very, very pleasant. I can't assign it to any specific fragrance direction right now. However, for me, for my sense of smell, it has a very, very nice scent. So, now we need to go over it once more. And now let's see if we manage to get the edge right. Yes, I would say that worked well. Now, processed right in the sun. Here too, completely streak-free and without any lines. And here, we will also take another look from different angles. Yes, that works. Just take a look. Very, very stylish. In my haul, everything always looks very uniform in the light, but that's why I wanted to turn this into a B-box for you and thought, come on, such a quick action with a product like this is super easy. Let's leave it here and observe the difference in appearance over the next few days, and perhaps even weeks. So, this is a very, very clear picture. At that point, I will be at the self-service box. But of course, I have already tested the product for you beforehand, and you can see the behavior of it here again, and I go in with 99% certainty that it will perform without end. This reminds me of spray sealants, as the entire sealing technology is also included in the product. That means the product should be just like the other products in this series, and it does this very, very well on plastic. And again, the difference to unsealed plastic is very, very clearly visible. And now let's take a look at how long the product lasts on the surface here. We have it applied at the rear, on both sides. We have it on the front, at the side. I also want to test a few other things, so I'm leaving a few spots open. And we will let it cure for a couple of days, I think about 2 or 3 days. Then we will go over it with chemicals, wash it a bit, and see how durable it is. We have a really nice separation, and we can compare them wonderfully. Feel free to write in, have you tested this product as well? How satisfied are you? Have you perhaps also done some long-term tests? The ceramic plastic sealant, please write it down for me below, would definitely interest me to get some feedback from you, and maybe also to gather a bit of experience for myself to see where the journey is headed. Because what I have tested so far has always been the initial performances. However, I haven't started a long-term test yet because I was waiting for the vehicle here, and it really took a bit too long for the E36 to arrive. And that's why it has taken so long with this video and the product here on my channel, because I didn't have the right vehicle, which I regularly get my hands on and can always follow up and verify everything. And that's why it's good that the BMW is here now. We can test it wonderfully here. Thank you for watching, everyone. Take care. Until next time, I'm looking forward to your feedback. Bye.